I know the channel's called Film Runner, but sometimes I want to talk about music, alright? Don't try and chuck me in a box, because I'll just punch my way out of it. So if you've never heard of Blossoms, which is unlikely if you've clicked on this video, but whatever, they're an indie pop band from Stockport, England. And at the time of recording this video, they've released 3 studio albums, 2 of which charted at #1. And for good reason, they've been putting out nothing but bangers. They're a little bit 60s, a little bit 70s, and a little bit 80s all at the same time. And I love it, can't get enough of it, mate. I first heard them at Leeds last year, and from what I recall, Kaylee and I both enjoyed this set quite a bit. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I particularly liked that Honey tune.
But they weren't properly on my radar until I bought a copy of their second LP, Cool Like You. For some reason, my local record shop had bargain binned it, and when a brand new vinyl is going for less than half price, you don't pass it up. And I'm so glad I didn't. Since buying that record, I've played it at least once a week. Genuinely, it's one of my favourites. I went back and added all their songs to my playlist, and now there's not a day goes by where I don't hear a Blossoms song. I'm a massive fan. So when they released an album last month and announced a whole bunch of album launch gigs, you can bet that I was straight in line to buy a ticket. And that's what this video is. I'm reviewing the album launch gig. It's in the title, you already knew that. Let's just do it. Right, let me set the scene. It's January 15th, 2020. The new album, Foolish Loving Spacers, drops in 2 weeks, and the tickets for the gig go on sale tomorrow at 10 AM. I'm feeling a bit naughty, a bit dangerous, so I set the alarm for 9:50 and I go to sleep. Off to the races, mate. I jump straight out of bed, pour a glass of milk, get on the computer, go to gigsandtours.com and wait for the clock to roll over to 10:00. And the second it does, I refresh the page to agree with this bollocks. Robot bastards. So unless I want to pay the extortionate prices on the resale market, my only option is to buy the ticket and album bundle, which would be okay if it wasn't for the fact that I'd already bought the album. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I'm buying tickets for both Kaylee and myself. So I've now bought the same album 3 times and it's not even fucking come out yet. But I'm not too bothered, the main thing is that I've got the tickets, and at the end of the day, if I can get over the stench of weed and dried piss, I could always trade the other 2 albums in at my local CEX. Fast forward 2 weeks, the album's released, it goes straight to #1. Hard lines, Louis. And straight to the top of my playlist. Cool Like You, more like Cool Like Who, Dis, new album Who Dis. Fucking hell, that was pathetic. Look, the point is, the album's amazing. I've currently got it on rotation with All Things Must Pass and Humbug. That's where this stands for me, easily in my top 10, so my excitement levels for the gig are through the fucking ceiling. February 4th, 2020, the night of the gig. I chuck on my whitest trousers and my baggiest velvet shirt and we make our way down to the Ritz. Doors open at 7 PM, but we get there at about 6:30, and this is where it falls apart a little bit. So standing in the queue, I take a look around and I notice that not only does everyone look about 15, but they all look the same. All the dudes look like Liam Gallagher with a pack of super noodles slapped on his head, and the girls look like they're about to post an off to the gym photo. If you've ever been up north, or even just to England at this point, I think it's an epidemic. You know what I'm talking about. I felt like we're in the fucking McDonald's queue. But I was happy to let that slide until we started eavesdropping in on the conversations. Now, we didn't tune in straight away, but we did manage to catch the group of girls behind us talking about the time that they bumped into one of the band members at the train station. And instead of doing the normal thing and just, you know, giving him a nod or even asking for a quick photo, they followed him back to his fucking home in Stockport. And whilst that should have had our mates like,
Karen, calm it down a bit, love, that's bizarre.
It instead opened the floodgates for them all to share their creepy Blossoms stories. And before we knew it, there was a pissing contest going on over who was the most intrusive out of this set of friends. Absolutely bonkers. I can't complain though, they kept us entertained right up until we were let inside, just unintentionally radiating Joe Goldberg vibes. Now I'm 6'1", probably pushing 6'3" in these boots, but Kaylee, bless her, she's a short king. So we had to get as close to the front as possible, and somehow we managed to squeeze our way to the middle of the second row. So now my hype levels are unprecedented. Not only am I about to see my current favourite band, but I'm gonna see them from the second row. I'm absolutely buzzing. Until it gets to 8 o'clock and the band haven't started yet. And my legs are hurting because I've been stood in the same fucking spot for an hour, and I really need the toilet, and the playlist that the venue is blasting has repeated itself 3 times. Also, I get that we're in Manchester, but can we pull back on Oasis a bit, please? And everyone's starting to smell a bit sweaty, and I'm contemplating whether or not I even like the band at this point. I mean, they're basically just B-Tech Beatles, and Tom's ear's a bit shit, and Josh looks like he should be on a register, and Myles is basically just Right, I need to pump the brakes a bit, I'm getting quite salty. Finally, the lights go out. the music stops, the crowd goes fucking wild, the lights come back on, and it's the support act. Right, fast forward an hour, let's try again. It's 9 o'clock, the lights go out, the music stops, everyone goes quiet. Lights beaming, bass thumping, the crowd goes fucking berserk, mosh pits all over, Tom's doing some cringy dancing. I couldn't find any footage of him dancing from this particular night, but picture this. You're at a family wedding, your weird uncle's had one too many, and you show him a video of Alex Turner and ask him to replicate it. That's the dance. And I can't even begin to describe the absolute scenery when that slide guitar came in. Fuckers are bouncing off the wall, we're dodging limbs left and right, one of them little Liam Gallagher's goes flying, pipes are just falling out from the sky, utter chaos. It made Vietnam look like daycare. I should probably take that one out, actually. Kaylee couldn't hack it, so we ended up spending most of the first song fighting our way out of the mosh pit. And when we finally made it to safety, we got a bit of a chance to take in the performance. And what a performance it was. The instrumentation sounded as close to the studio recording as you could get within a live setting, and Tom's vocals were spot on, even with the questionable dance moves. Hitting us with that 1-2 punch, they kept the energy high and went straight into There's a Reason Why. Oh, fuck me. Hey lads, if Tom's rhymes ever dry up, give me a call. I was quite pleasantly surprised to hear this one, to be honest. With it being an album launch gig, I was under the impression that they'd just be playing new material, but they gave us a decent mix of the discography. This is the set list. If you're interested, if you want to make a playlist or a mixtape or whatever, wax cylinder. Right, now remember earlier when I mentioned that I needed the toilet? Well, I never actually went, and now I'm starting to regret it. I mean, I should have just gone whilst the support was on, but I didn't want to be a dickhead, and I was enjoying the tunes, to be honest. But to put it bluntly, I'm about to shit my pants. Oh! Luckily, they were playing My Swimming Brain, which I didn't particularly care for at the time, so I made a quick dash for the toilets. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to the Ritz, but Jesus Christ. They're taking the piss, mate. Imagine every Weatherspoons combined had a love child with that one MC Escher painting. That's the journey to the toilets. Fucking stairs for days, man. One shit later, or 1.5 songs later, I run back into the venue and regroup with Kaylee, just in time to hear the bridge of The Keeper. And in that moment, when the whole room joined in to sing the chorus and when a million goosebumps appeared on my arms, I remember thinking to myself, what an amazing memory this night will make. And that pretty much set the trajectory for the rest of the evening. So whilst editing this, I noticed that I pretty much just told a story and didn't really review the music all that much, so here's a seamless insert of what's definitely me professionally reviewing the gig in excruciating detail.
Hi everyone.
Film Tony Rantano here.
The internet's busiest music nerd. It's all actually pretty nice. Decent to strong 8.
Okay, that should fool them. Let's just seamlessly transition back into the video. Now, if you're not a fan of Blossoms music, then seeing them live probably isn't going to do anything for you. But if you are a fan, or even if there's just a couple of their songs you like, you need to consider getting some tickets and seeing them for yourself. This video is brought to you by Blossoms. They made this little album launch gig feel like a stadium show. I mean, they brought on percussionists, they had an extra guitarist, even bloody gospel singers rocked up. And the lights, oh my Christ, don't even get me started on the lights. You know when you've been sat down for a bit and then you stand up too quickly and temporarily get catapulted into another dimension? Well, that's exactly what the lights were like, man. Pure madness, 100% gonna get tickets to see him again.
Thank you very much, it means a lot. We'll see some of you tomorrow night.
Alright, if anyone's still watching this, leave me a comment letting me know what your favourite Blossom song is. If you can't be asked to or just don't want to, then don't even worry about it. Also, I'm going to try to make videos on here more frequently, like once a week is the aim right now. So if you enjoyed this one and want to see more stuff from me, click subscribe. Also, my throat is really fucked right now, so that's why I sound a little bit off in this one. It's not Rona, don't worry. Cheers guys, I'll see you in the next one.
Or if someone has a great gag reflex.
Oh no, what have you said that?